This episode of Small Business Leaders Podcast is brought to you by Adams Lane Photography.
Hi, and welcome to the Small Business Leaders Podcast, coming to you from Legacy Podcast Studio in historic downtown Kernersville, North Carolina. My name's Lamar Powell, your co-host, and
I am Audra Adams, and today we are thrilled to welcome to our episode Chris Comer, the president of the Kernersville Chamber of Commerce. We have a lot of questions, and she has a lot of answers. Let's get into it. Welcome, Chris, to our studio. We are honored to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, greatest story that I have, well, our first time meeting, I want to let everybody know kind of how that happened. Daniel and I got this studio, and we had begun painting and doing all the things to move in. And funny enough, I really didn't know what Chamber of Commerce really did, which is one of the reasons why you're on here, because small business leaders and small business owners need to know about what you do. But I don't know what came across. Daniel, do you remember what came across? I know you don't have a microphone, but I wonder if you remember. I don't remember what it was, but we were talking about it, and I said, Daniel, we have got to join the Chamber of Commerce. And he was like, okay. So we looked at it, and so one day I said, today is the day that we are going to go join the Chamber of Commerce. And I got my little dress on, and I said, look presentable. We are going to go and do this. And so we did. We walked right in there, and you happened to be there. And we sat down, and it was just a kinship from the moment, kindred spirits from the moment that we sat down. And what the funniest thing was, is like we tried to join, and she went back to her office. Tell her, do you remember this?
I'm not sure where you're going with it, but I'm glad that you joined.
No, I know, but you were trying to sign us up in your office, and you're on the computer, and you're trying to do it. And you're
They don't let me do
this. And you're like, somebody else is going to have to actually do this because they told me I can't.
It's so true.
And
it's still that way to this day.
It was so welcoming. I walked out feeling wonderful, but I had no idea what it was I was really feeling wonderful about, other than I just loved you and met Ashley and Lisa and everyone down there. Hattie wasn't there yet, I don't think.
Amanda was there, though.
Okay, Amanda. And so that just started a journey, and we were kind of a slow intro from our business, but it made an impact on me, your personality, just from the very start. So I want to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Do you feel like we've connected you to the community? Because that is what the Chamber does, connects business to community and community to business.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. Just yesterday, we worked with a business in a corporate setting that we did, I believe, almost 40 corporate headshots for their business. And I always just, say, hey, how did you get? And they're like, oh, the Chamber.
Great.
And I would say multiple times that has happened since we've joined the Chamber, that they have called and said, oh, they recommend you, and they recommend you highly. And so the trust that the community obviously has in the Kernersville Chamber of Commerce is huge. So it seems to me, from what I'm hearing and experiencing, is they actually do call y'all or look on the website first and trust what you tell them.
That's what we hope, and we cannot be prouder at the outpouring of support that we receive from our community. It's unbelievable to me. Being from up north, coming here to Kernersville, I feel like I'm on vacation every day. And I'm not kidding. So it's great.
I know.
I get up, I swim, I'm still on vacation. I get to go to work, I'm still on vacation at the Chamber. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm very thankful for the team that we have at the Chamber and everyone that supports our community and our Chamber.
I think it's great too because I'm new to the community. We're still under a year being here, and then being involved in this part, the podcast part of the business. So I'm trying to go around the community and meet people. And I see you guys all the time, and I hear about you guys all the time. And there's a lot of activity in Kernersville, and I know in downtown Kernersville quite a bit. And so I think it's great.
No, I mean, it's awesome. I know a couple episodes ago we had Fitz in here, and I know, I believe you said you watched that particular podcast.
Yes.
But so you heard how they, and for those who haven't watched that episode, Fitz on Main is a restaurant that experienced a fire recently, and so they were on here speaking about it, and the community is really coming together to try to help them get reopened is the goal. But they said the morning after the fire, they came in and you had your whole team down there like going through washing dishes and just, making sure that they knew that y'all were there. And you didn't have to do that. That's not something that you have to do.
It was our honor to be there, and the VFW invited us, so we wanted to make sure that we weren't intruding on such a challenging morning. It was the day after the day of the fire, and it was very impactful to me to see everyone helping, and we just were honored to be there. Again, I'll use that word, because you never know if someone will allow you to help.
What they really said, though, was that means more to them than any charitable contribution of money or anything like that, that they remember who came. And so for you to be the leader of, the Chamber of Commerce, you have created that community environment to say, hey, we show up. It's not just you show up for these other things. You show up for your community. And so that was very telling to me.
Yeah, I think it is great because what we're trying to accomplish, even with our podcast, and if our viewers haven't gone back and seen that episode, they need to watch that, really do. Because what we're trying to do is capture stories, and you're really the spear tip of all of that with these businesses, because you know them, you interact with them, and I just think it's a neat thing because we've talked about often how important small business is to community, but also how important community is to small business. So that's a great example of what happened there. Such a wonderful business. Everybody knows them. We love them, and their story was amazing. So you guys taking part was great.
It was awesome. Okay, so now I'm gonna go all things Chris Comer. Are you ready?
I am ready. Bring it on.
You are primed and ready. Okay, because you don't just become president of the Kernersville Chamber of Commerce just because you just happen to walk in and go, hey, I want the job. I mean, there's a backstory here. And as you've already mentioned, you were not, you were born in Pennsylvania, from what I can gather. I've done my research. I hope this camera's on me. Yeah, I did research. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
I was born the first of 4 girls, so I was my dad's helper.
Oh.
Dad thought it was really cool if we bought a fun farm. Fun for him, not us. But we did. We learned how to work. We learned how to save money so that we could put ourselves through college with 4-H, and I raised beef cows. My sisters had pigs. No, thank you. But the beef cows did produce money after I had paid off what they cost initially. Large return on investment on that. So I was able to put myself through 4 years at Lock Haven University of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
With beef cows. What I noticed when I was just getting the small amount of history that I could, from a very young age, you were a hustler. Like, you were hustling.
I remember very clearly there's a gymnastics camp half a mile from us, and that's where I started working. Yeah. And I remember very clearly the owner of the camp coming to my dad and saying 100 hours is too many in 1 week.
Yeah.
But when the work had to be done and there was no one else to help do it, the Geist White girls come through.
Did you genuinely love doing that, or were you always goal oriented of, hey, this is why I'm doing that?
I think both. I really enjoy anything I ever have the opportunity of doing. Have never been bored. I don't remember a time that I didn't want to go to work. Thoroughly loved my years as a swim instructor at our local pool when I was young, and then at Woodward Camp, and then at the YW, and then at the YMCA, and now at the Kernersville Chamber. I just always feel it's a privilege to get to do what I do, and it makes me feel really good to help people.
You really do help people, and it's your presence is impactful because not a lot of people have that mindset. I mean, even before the camera started rolling, I was like, I have to go to this thing tonight, and you're like, oh, we're going to turn this into a positive. Tell them what you said to me. Go ahead.
You have the opportunity to go to this event tonight, Audra.
Right. That's right, and it changed my little
Your
mind.
attitude.
Lamar's
My little
going.
attitude. And
Your
Lamar,
attitude.
Lamar's going now,
Lamar's
too.
going to go.
Yeah.
No, he's not. So you start with beef cattle, and you already mentioned return on investment on that. I mean, who taught you return on investment?
My dad.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad's he's 85 and he still could out ski me, my mom could out rollerblade me. She's 81. They're very active. They still live on the Fun Farm in Pennsylvania, and everything's sharecropped out. So there's no animals, and there's nothing to do but mow now, which my dad thoroughly loves. But my dad taught all 4 of his girls to stand on their own 2 feet. I'm not sure he really enjoyed now the return of us being independent thinkers, but we all are.
Because that challenges him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we share with him. He taught us to be independent thinkers and always had that responsibility feature because we were so close in age. I was 5 and the 4th one was just born. So there's 4 of us girls.
Oh, my
I'm
word.
5 and then 4 and then 2 and then my youngest sister just
Wow.
born. So we all had to stick together. When we purchased the farm, took us 5 years to fix it up. And we went every night after Dad's work for 4 hours. We all had jobs. We didn't just sit around. Winters in Pennsylvania are brutal.
They are brutal.
So we would walk up the hill and get into the car, and we would make a chain so none of us would get lost, and get in the car. And it was always, we have fond memories of that, but it was always very challenging.
But anything that you, as a family, accomplished, you really knew you had a part in.
Everything.
And that mindset's perfect for the position, for all the positions that you've been in, but especially for now. I mean, this little part and this little part makes a really great overall big thing that still exists today. I mean, your parents are still on the Fun Farm and they sharecrop that out, but you can still look at probably many things on that farm and say, I did that.
And I'm still doing it. I'll be up there in August for a week, and Dad and I will be working on the road together, but we make sure for time for ice cream and hoagies.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nobody does it better than Pennsylvania. Like there's things we can talk about in North Carolina, but you need to give credit where credit is due, and that's for sure. Yeah. So, Lamar, do you have questions?
Yeah, I think it's good. Some of the things you brought up, I think, are important, even for entrepreneurs today and business owners today. The importance of like teaching your kids, because I know a lot of times you're a business owner, your children oftentimes are involved in what you're doing. How important that is at a young age to have those responsibilities and to work and to earn. and that helps you later on, I think, in being a leader and in other things. I know I started my first job punching a clock. I was 14 years old too, and earned a paycheck. And I think a lot of that, and then farm life. That's a whole nother
That's
story.
a whole other story,
Yeah,
for
I've
sure.
got a lot of stories about that.
I think that, would you agree that, like, things have changed? The culture has obviously changed, that is not the norm anymore, that a family work together quite like we used to.
I like to think that some aspects, they're just different. Some aspects of the family, they do work together. They go on vacations together.
Yeah.
They all have to be a team when they get out of the house in the morning to go to school. I think things have just changed a little bit, that they don't look the same. But I do feel that the family unit is still alive and kicking.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do too. I just know that, for instance, even in the studio, so it didn't get painted by just me and Daniel. Right. It was, hey kids, you can hold a roller, like, let's go in there. And they come in and they're like, oh, I did that. Or, know, that kind of, that ownership, of that, and that responsibility, I see as been a great thing that brings families together. If you do it in a healthy way.
If they have the opportunity.
Yes.
Some folks don't have an individual business. They go to work.
Yes.
And so there's some dynamics there that they have to be creative.
Yes.
To create those family opportunities, like game night and, getting all the pieces together. But I'm getting into the weeds. I do think that Kernersville is a great place to raise great families, and our small businesses, they work so hard to serve our community, and I'm so thankful for that.
I'm seeing that too. No one that we've had here or that we've met I just feel like they're gold. I mean, they're just salt of the earth people trying to live out their dream in a lot of ways, but they're not trying to be for big fortune or fame or anything. They're just trying to say, oh, I see life this way, and I have a little corner of this, and I like to be a part. And that's where you come in. So with small businesses, tell our listeners and viewers why it is so important to join your local Chamber of Commerce.
Really, we want to make sure that the local chamber has something that will assist your business to grow, whether it's networking, whether it is just getting your name out there over the internet, our website, or it's actually executing one of our programs. We have over 21, I think it's 24 committees at this point.
Wow.
So folks can get involved and volunteer. But it goes back to your family perspective. They have a hand in it.
Yes.
They're having the opportunity to actually execute these different events and programs that we have. And then, of course, we couldn't do anything without our board and our team. We have over 220 volunteers and almost 3,500 hours a year that folks put into making the chamber successful for our businesses and our community.
I tried to do a little research about Chamber of Commerce. We have been a part of that in the past with other businesses my wife and I have owned. So when I looked at Chamber of Commerce, it's been around a long time. Actually started in France.
Saw that.
1599. That's a long time ago. So current now, the Chamber of Commerce, how many businesses are a part of?
So we've got over 500 businesses involved as members currently, continues to grow each day.
Yay.
And is that just Kernersville?
That's just Kernersville.
For this chamber.
The Kernersville Chamber of Commerce started in September of 1968.
Wow.
And we have folks that have been with us every year.
Yeah.
56 years at this point. We are very lucky that the community supported the chamber. a lot of other communities may have had to start their chambers later or started out as something else. So our chamber is very forward thinking,
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
and we like to listen to what and where the community is going.
Yes. And then it seems like you don't just listen, then you do something about that, whether that's contacting or creating an event, or, I mean, every week or two, there's an event, multiple sometimes
We have
times a
over
week.
200 events a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they can be small, they can be large. You know, you've seen Spring Folly. Thank you all
huge.
for taking pictures at Spring Folly. It was amazing. It's one of the largest street festivals in the Southeast, and it wins awards. So we're very, very appreciative of that because we don't do it by ourselves. The town of Kernersville provides so much.
Well, and that goes back to, is there certain committees that are just Spring Folly?
Yes,
Okay.
just one
Just
out of
one.
the 20.
And then I know the parades have different committees. I learned about that through different people who are in charge of that. And like you said, they do take pride and ownership
They do.
of being a part of those kind of committees. I'm not in a committee yet. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm not.
We're waiting.
I know.
We're patient.
I know. Well, we had a slow start. I will say we have had a slow start, but in the last several months, things are, definitely picking up that way to where I feel like I can focus and go that way. But if I want to join hands with anybody in this community, it is the Kernersville Chamber.
Thank you.
And you are a huge part of that. So if you were starting a small business right now, moving to Kernersville, tell our listeners and viewers what steps number 1, 2, 3 might be to help them get their business off the ground in a positive way.
Absolutely. We actually have a really good relationship with the Forsyth Tech Small Business Center.
Oh, really?
We always encourage folks to make sure that they have their foundation built. So have you done your classes? Do you have your business plan? Do you have a direction that you'd like to go? And are you just loving whatever you're wanting to start your business? Or do you have the marketing piece? Do you have the networking piece? And do you have the love for what you want to start? And the financial piece.
Perfect.
Once they connect with that, then I suggest let's connect with Catherine Garner at the Town of Kernersville. Let's make sure that we know everything about wherever you want to land in Kernersville and what's going to make the most sense for your business, the success that you want. The Kernersville Chamber, we can help you through that. I speak with businesses continuously and guide them to the right folks. We actually have a to-do list checklist on our website too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
So you can go and
Yeah. So you have a relationship with the town.
we do.
Why do we call Kernersville a town? It's a big place.
It's a large town with a small town feel, Lamar.
I know that. I understand that way, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big place.
It is. It has grown.
Kernersville's big,
It's
and
spread it out,
it's
yeah.
growing. To me, it's more like a city, small city. But I understand the town
We
feel,
still
because
have.
that's what I fell in love with here. Because I feel that, I sense that.
Yeah.
But I also like the growth. So you help businesses, kind of as with the town, and we are in a growing community. So you guys help
We connect
with that.
them.
Connect.
Yes, it's very important to us that they start out on the right foot. We
Absolutely.
want them to love Kernersville as much as we do,
Mm-hmm.
and we want them to stay forever.
And that's difficult to navigate sometimes for a new business and business owners. I know
Yeah.
that personally as well.
Yes.
Navigating that. So it's good to have that resource. Another good reason to be a part of the chamber then.
Our whole team, we're really proud to be a part of the Chamber of Commerce and the town. and be part of the Kernersville. The chamber is a standalone business,
Right,
nonprofit,
right.
but we're all very passionate, and we want to help as
And
much as we can.
You do that. So, well, let's go to the nonprofit portion of that. That means I'm going to go back to the hustle
Okay.
that you've always had in you. I mean, you have to be pretty creative to keep a nonprofit afloat and getting the type of revenue that it needs to do. So the creativity that your team has in the events that you choose are very strategic, in my opinion. And they are they're very, what, I can't think of the word. They just make you want to go.
Intentional? Oh,
They
make you wanna go.
Yes, the way that you put them together, it's like, I want to do that. I want to be a part of that. So I don't want to say alluring, but it kind of is.
we're very intentional and thoughtful and listen. So the team's really great at listening what folks want. And if someone that's listening says, well, they don't have what I want, let us know. We'd love to talk to you and see what it is that's going to connect you to the community and the community to your business to be successful.
So you, as far as the nonprofit, with all of the things that you put on, whether it's the folly or whatever, that's how you are able to stay afloat as the chamber.
Yes,
It
the
is
sponsors, the participants, everyone that is a part of
the
each event allows us to execute that event and program.
okay, which is amazing, and it's a high calling, I think, for such a place as Kernersville that is growing too at the same time, and you're having to keep up with a lot, and you don't have a huge staff.
And there's 5 of us,
Yeah.
and we're
The things that the 5 of y'all are able to accomplish, like, I should come over there and just pat you on the back for yourself. But I mean, it's truly amazing. So thank you for that. And thank you for the leadership and connectivity that you've helped Adams Lane with, for sure. And now Legacy, the studio, you have championed that. I mean, I hear about it all the time, and I'm grateful that our name is in the tip of your tongue anywhere. So thank you.
We're very thankful that you're here and you chose Kernersville. So it's our honor to be able to say Adams Lane's in our community. Oh, and we have a podcast. It's called Legacy Podcast.
Yeah, I love it because all of these small businesses have owners and leaders.
Yeah.
They're people, and they have a story, and they have families, and they're passionate about what they do and what they bring to our community. And I know we're trying to capture that, and I've absolutely enjoyed it, meeting these different people, hearing their stories, and it's been fun for me. And I think about Julia Brown, Mama's chicken bun.
Yes, that was a great
It was
podcast.
wonderful to have her here in our studio and to hear her story, and to be able to capture that.
Yeah.
And David Fitzpatrick and April, same thing. To be able to sit here, for us to feel, we hear that story firsthand, and to feel that emotion, it's just amazing. I don't know, for me, with Julia Brown, to be able to go eat at her establishment, to meet her daughter, to meet her granddaughter. I mean, that's truly a family business.
Yeah, it is.
And they provide a wonderful service to our community, and to be able to capture that's been great.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's made us feel like we are more ingrained as everybody that we are having on. It makes me feel more a part. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Caveville. That's right. That's where our business is.
It sounds like you're committed.
A little
Yay.
bit. A little bit. And so now there are times when small businesses have to navigate tough situations. So when you find that something like that would occur, what is should they contact y'all?
Yes, we scour for resources. We collaborate with many different nonprofits and government agencies that can help. Also, I think it's really important to note that small businesses, nonprofits, whomever they are, it costs them money to do business.
Yeah.
So I like to share with people and everyone listening, it's important for us to realize that they have to charge us what it costs them, or they're not going to be here. And that's really important for us to share. So when a small business or a business comes to us with questions, we want to make sure we have the resources at our fingertips. And we have so many resources in our county and beyond.
Right. I came upon an issue a couple weeks ago, and the first person that I called was you. You were on a cruise. It was the worst week that you could be on the cruise. I'm glad. I hope you had fun.
We did. Mom, Dad, and my 3 sisters.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
that's wonderful. Where'd you go?
We took them on a boat to Bermuda.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yes. And it's the ship that takes you to Bermuda for 2 days, and then you come right back.
Yeah.
So my dad was okay with that. He's an Air Force guy, so he was okay with
Oh,
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
So anyway, I was on vacation.
you were on vacation, which you sorely deserve, for sure. But it was great because there were other people that, because I was involved with the chamber and because we had a grand opening and because all of the things that are very important, I had resources other than just you for me to figure that out. And thankfully it's definitely working out. And some of it is, hey, I didn't know something. Like, I truly didn't know as a business owner that this needed to be this way. And then there's other things that other people needed to know needed to be another way. And so I'm speaking around a subject, and I get that right now, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. Because the major point that I'm trying to make is, had it not been for our involvement with the Chamber of Commerce, I wouldn't have had the resources to go and fix a problem that could have been catastrophic for my business.
Yeah.
And communication and relationships are key.
Yes.
It all gets back to networking
True.
with one another, and that's a very important part of owning a business, is meeting other business owners in the community and other leadership in the community. You guys offer all kinds of opportunities, leadership opportunities, the opportunities for business owners and leaders to be able to communicate with each other about needs or pressing problems, and that network then allows you to be able to get the information that you need to be successful or navigate.
Yeah, at
through
least
a problem.
navigate.
Yeah.
Also, I will go to the networking opportunities. What I have been able to be a part of is your Women in Business conferences for the last 2. And the thought processes that go into that, they're just wonderful. And, I might come out of there with 1 or 2 more people. I mean, more than that, but that really heart connect and stick with it. And as a woman in business, they still support. I mean, they still are texting, weeks later, and just to feel, hey, we're all here together. We're all trying to do something in our lifetime that matters. And, those events are, I know you haven't been to one of them because
We have other events. Bourbon and Bows is coming up.
Oh, that sounds good.
See, tell us about that.
That'll be in September, right here at the event at 210 in the factory.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And what does that event?
Well, everything I share with folks, everything is what you make of it. So I anticipate this being a networking event.
Okay.
We will have bows, bow ties.
Yes.
Yes, so that's gentlemen. But we want this to be a night that business owners and their significant others or employees and their significant others come out, have a nice meal, or it may be hors d'oeuvres. I'm not in the know right this minute. They're meeting actually right now as we speak, but it will be an opportunity for folks to really enjoy some businesses, what they have here in town as well. So we incorporate everyone that has a business that will be affiliated with this event. Okay. So in other words, food and drink and
all of that. Okay, well,
There
don't
you go.
say you weren't invited.
You're invited.
You can't say that.
Sign-ups coming out soon. Watch the
Good.
website.
I'll have to watch.
We do watch the website. The other thing that y'all do at the chamber is you do an email blast.
Yes.
For a very affordable price when it comes to advertising. I know we have definitely used that a couple of times ourselves. So I want everyone to know that I don't know if every chamber does that, but Kernersville Chamber does do email blast, and it's a very easy process. If you've got an event that you're trying to, market or whatever, you need to definitely take part in that.
Excellent. I love that you love that.
I do love
piece.
that. And that's something that has taken, like Daniel and I, in this first year of being here. I mean, yes, we've been in business for 7 years incorporated, and 30 years before that. But we just are new here, really. Mm-hmm. We're a year and some change in. And so it's been very important that our resources they're not. I mean, I'm having so much trouble talking today. I can't even. See, it happened again. So we just have limited resources for advertising purposes. Yeah. And so to know that, hey, we can get out a blast that goes at least to 500 other businesses is huge for a very small amount of money. So we have, wouldn't you say that's been a great thing for us, Daniel? I know you don't have a microphone, but just. Yeah, he went.
He's nodding.
Show when he
with
went.
A smile.
He went. Yes.
Yeah, great tool for sure.
No.
So what trends are you seeing? I mean, you have your finger on the pulse of the businesses in our community.
Ooh, spill some tea.
And this is I absolutely love Kernersville. Love what I'm seeing. Growth all around us is exciting. It's fun. It's great to be a part of it. What are you seeing from your perspective that you can share with us?
With the economy changing, ever changing, I see a lot of confidence here in Kernersville with those that are living here. They want to wrap their arms around the businesses. They want them to succeed. And our community seems to have the same goal. We want to see Kernersville continue to thrive. So here in Kernersville, even during COVID, it was a lot different than other places. Yes, everyone struggled, don't get me wrong, but we were in a lot better place than most. So at this time, the trends that I see is controlled growth in business as well as residential, commercial and residential manufacturing, and also additional businesses coming in with that growth. We have a really great elected official group at our Town of Kernersville, and they're very thoughtful and intentional about everything that comes before them. And we have a lot of passionate people that want to be in Kernersville and want to continue to keep up historic buildings and keep Kernersville the big town with a small town feel, as I mentioned.
Yeah. And politics, I know sometimes can be a difficult subject or a touchy subject for a lot of people, but it does play a very important role in businesses and the economy and in communities. And I think that's important because, again, we want the community to succeed. And it's good to know that we do have representatives in this town that care and are watching out for these things for the betterment of all of us, businesses included.
And I can definitely speak to those elected officials are approachable.
Very.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely spoken with them, and they've been so even. I got a call and says, "Hey, it's going to be okay." Like they, you don't have to do that. You don't have to call and make me feel better. I mean, you're the elected official here, about certain things. But that meant the world to me to know that, hey, that's accessible. But again, I will go back to, for our listeners and our viewers, the reason that we knew and I knew how to do that is because we started at the Kernersville Chamber. So that's where it all leads back to for me. So anyway.
I think it's great. The Triad is awesome.
Yeah.
We're seeing that. I get to experience that. And then I read somewhere where Kernersville's the heart of the Triad.
Yes, sir.
And so what we're learning today is the Kernersville Chamber maybe is the kind of the heart of the business stuff here in Kernersville.
Yeah. Well, now tell me a little bit about, so you have 2 sons.
I do. They are older.
That's okay.
I'm young still.
Yeah. We don't have to.
And very successful. They had a really tough mom, and I was very strict. Air Force veteran is my oldest.
Really?
He's in IT in Illinois. And my youngest son was on scholarship. He played lacrosse and D2. And now he's very successful at a trucking company in Greensboro.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is awesome. And then I remember one of the first things you told me when I met you last year was that you got to wake up at the lake, or you were retiring at the lake. I don't know. It had to do with the lake. You love the lake.
Is it me when I paddleboard with Mary Beth at the lake every week, or is it when I take the dogs to the river every week?
It might have been. It was something that you were
water. I swim every day. I just like the water. It relaxes me. And who gets to do that? Aren't I the luckiest person?
Well, I mean, you are. What time do you get up every day? 4
a.m.
Girl.
My dad said if you don't get started before the sun rises, the day's shot.
And what time do you go to bed?
Oh, ask the team. If they try to get a hold of me anytime after 7 p.m., I may or may not reply.
Wow.
I could be asleep. I could be playing pickleball. We don't know.
We don't know. And they don't know. And they don't need to know. It's none of their business.
Oh, yeah. They can get me anytime they need. I'll get back to them if I'm awake. I mean, it might be 4 a.m.
Yeah. But you always do. That's the other thing about you that I've appreciated. When I've asked for a meeting, we've set a time. You've shown up. When you say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, that is always followed through. And that has helped even structure who we started with having on the podcast, because I met with you.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I said, hey, where should we start? You've been here longer, and your outpouring, it was just this one and this one, and this one was great, and this one was great. I mean, you just have such a genuine love for the people here and the business owners that you've walked alongside of, I think, for years. So you've guided that. I know I'm kind of like being your biggest fan over here, but it's true. And I thank you for that.
You're welcome. I just enjoy it so much.
I'm actually looking at one of your pictures. You have golden retrievers.
I do.
A pair of them?
I do now. I've always had just one. And currently I have 2 boys, and they're 3 and 4. The oldest is turning 4. The boys move out, you get dogs.
Yeah. Well,
we don't know yet.
I have 2 adult daughters that have golden retrievers, and they absolutely adore them. So yeah, they would absolutely love that, and they would love this picture. I'm gonna have to send it to them.
And so the water, walking, what do you and your husband enjoy doing? Does he enjoy doing that together as well?
No, he is very into the yard and making sure that looks nice. And then I just go and play around.
Well, is he
I'm very lucky.
Is he a 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. kind of guy?
No.
No, we're on different.
Yeah, he likes to stay up a little later at night, and then he wakes up not very much later after me, so he requires less sleep than I do.
Oh, I gotcha. Well,
He's a Southern boy.
Tell me about him.
Yeah, he's from Elkin, North Carolina,
I love
and a
Elkin.
salesman, very good salesman, and really enjoys eating out.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
I like to eat in.
So, are you a wonderful cook?
I'm not wonderful, but I love to cook.
I bet you are wonderful because I mean, didn't you grow up, eating what you grew and had there?
Yes.
So you know how to use
Yes,
ingredients.
and Dad makes his own sauerkraut. I'm getting ready to learn how to do that. I'm German. Our family's German, and so we eat a lot of pork,
Schnitzel?
sauerkraut, mashed potatoes. I don't know what schnitzel is, but I'm sure it's great. If it's not healthy, my mom didn't let us have it.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I don't want to act like I know too much. I mean, I went to Germany once when I was 15, and I loved it. It was beautiful. Went all around that, but they had, I don't know, is it Wiener Schnitzel?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and then I think you can have veal, or they do it with chicken, and they just pound it out really thin, and then they bread it, and I think it's pan fried. It's so good.
It does sound delicious. Do you
Yeah.
throw some sauerkraut on top
I
of it?
think they do on the side, and interestingly enough, they serve some of it with applesauce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Homemade applesauce.
yeah.
Having a big family growing up, we had to have a large garden. We had to make our own food so that we would be able to make it through the winter. As I shared with you, winters are tough up there in Pennsylvania. And so I grew up, just go down to the cellar, get the green beans or whatever we were eating. And we always had potatoes, we always had meat, and we always had to have a salad before we ate. I think it was to fill us up because we were big eaters.
That's fine. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I think that every business listening, small business entrepreneur, everything you need to start day one, maybe even before you figure out if it is Kernersville, if it is Winston, wherever you may be in the world, really go to your Chamber of Commerce, and they have resources that you just don't when you first get somewhere. So it's a very wise decision.
Yeah, and I want to say another thing because I know I've experienced this as well. A lot of times as a business owner, you don't think you have time to network. But
Yeah, that's
the
true.
problem is there's going to come a time, if you're an entrepreneur and business owner, there's going to come a time you're going to need that networking.
You are.
You're absolutely going to need it. So you need to it's an investment. So go ahead and make that investment.
Absolutely. That would be what I would say.
Yeah.
And it's all
That's my
timing,
advice.
right? So
Yes.
whenever the time is right for your business.
Yeah.
And I want to say too, y'all have been when we first started, we didn't get off to a rip-roaring start here for personal reasons and health issues. And I was like, man, they're going to think we don't want to do, whatever. And you were like, no, you cared about what was actually going on. And that has made me even more endeared to you and the team. And so thank you for that. And hopefully we become even more ingrained and a staple in the Kernersville.
Yeah, we want to bring a positive light to all of it. Now, we know that's what you guys want to do.
Yeah.
It's absolutely what we want to do.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. These stories are incredible.
They are.
We want to keep sharing them.
So thank you so much. And how about telling us exactly how to get a hold of the Kernersville Chamber of Commerce? What's the best way? Website?
You can go to our website, kernersvillenc.com. You can call us, 336-993-4521, or you can text me. But if you don't have my cell phone number right now, you can find it.
Oh, That was brave.
Yeah.
That was
You're
really
welcome.
Getting a little
brave.
nervous there.
That made me like,
Yeah,
Everyone has my cell phone.
Yeah.
okay.
It's not a secret.
I don't.
Just go to the website.
I'm about
I
to-
have yours.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Well, suffice it to say, if we have not driven this point home in this, you've missed it. But if you are in Kernersville and you are a business owner and you are not a member of the Kernersville Chamber of Commerce, I don't know what you're doing right now, but stop it and go and sign up and become a member, because it really does enhance your business and it will help you in your networking. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to find Legacy Podcast Studios, you can do that on all of Instagram, whatever. Just you do it.
You called me out last time you did this.
What did
for
I
sure.
do? What?
Find us. We're on all the platforms,
Legacy
all the
Podcast Studios.
social media. Just search us, you'll find
But
us.
we want to also know, I wanted to add this.
Yeah.
I want some feedback. Like, I would love to
feedback.
know what you're thinking, how you think the episodes are going. If there are things that we haven't touched on that you want to know about, we want to hear from you. And you can leave a comment on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. We see those and we take those to heart. I know a couple of people have asked us to promote certain things, and we definitely get behind that 100%. So just let us hear from you. And if you have any questions, we're ready to answer them on camera or off. And that will be it. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye.